Eala arrives in Manila, confirms participation in Philippine Women's Open. Eala has officially confirmed her participation in the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open scheduled from January 26 to 31st at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Eala has officially confirmed her participation in the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open scheduled from January 26 to 31st at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. The announcement came after Eala arrived in Manila on Wednesday, January 21st, following her stint at the Australian Open. "Yes, I will be playing next week. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope people can come out and support the Pinays," Eala was quoted as saying upon her arrival. "It's a huge milestone in Philippine tennis, and I think it's a big deal for all of us Filipina tennis players," she added. In Melbourne, she lost to Alicia Parks, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6, in the opening round singles, and also bowed to Magda Linette and Shuko Aoyama with Brazilian partner Ingrid Martins, 6-7, 3, 6-2, 3-6. The world number 49 Eala was given one of the wild card berths in the said tournament that the country is hosting for the first time, along with rising player Tenny Mighties. Meanwhile, confirming participation is 2024 Paris Olympics silver medalist Donna Vekic. Homecoming on hardcourt, Eala and the promise of Manila. When Eala stepped into the warm Manila air, it felt less like an arrival and more like a continuation. A sentence resumed after a long comma. The city greeted her the way it always had, with a restless hum, with sunlight that seemed to linger on faces, with the quiet insistence of memory. Somewhere between the sliding airport doors and the waiting crowd, the distance between the world she had traveled and the home she carried with her folded into something small enough to fit in her palm. She smiled the smile of someone who had learned, early on, how to hold both ambition and affection at the same time. News traveled quickly, as it always does in a country that treats its athletes like shared dreams. Eala had arrived in Manila, and she had confirmed her participation in the Philippine Women's Open. The words were simple, but they moved like a spark across conversations, through radio segments and group chats, through morning coffee and late-night scrolls. 4 young players on public courts and private clubs alike. It felt like a door opening. For Alex, it felt like coming full circle. She had left the Philippines years ago with a racket nearly as tall as she was, chasing a vision that demanded early mornings and late nights, repetition and sacrifice. Tennis had taken her across oceans, into academies and arenas where every match was a test of nerve as much as skill. She learned how to travel light, how to carry focus like a passport, how to find familiarity in the geometry of the court wherever she landed. But Manila was different. Manila was noise and warmth and history. It was the place where tennis courts baked under the sun and echoes of encouragement came not from polite applause but from voices that believed loudly. It was where her name was not just announced, but claimed. The Philippine Women's Open, for all its competitive gravity, carried a deeper meaning this year. It was not merely a tournament, it was a meeting point between generations, between aspiration and example. Alex's confirmation did more than strengthen the draw. It shifted the emotional center of the event. Suddenly, the tournament wasn't only about ranking points or trophies. It was about possibility. In quiet moments after her arrival, Alex reflected on how strange it felt to be both a participant and a symbol. She was still a player chasing improvement, still someone who replayed points in her head and adjusted footwork in hotel hallways. Yet she was also aware of the eyes watching her, not with pressure, but with hope. She didn't shy away from that awareness. If anything, she welcomed it. Because hope, like tennis, is built shot by shot. The Philippine Women's Open would test her, as all competitions do. The field was expected to be hungry, the matches unforgiving. Tennis, after all, has no memory and no mercy. Yesterday's applause cannot win today's rally. Alex knew this better than most. She trained with the discipline of someone who respected the sport enough not to romanticize it. She understood that home advantage did not mean ease, it meant responsibility. Yet there was comfort in familiarity. The cadence of Filipino voices, the taste of food she had missed without fully realizing it, the way humor slipped into even serious conversations. These were not distractions. They were anchors. On the practice courts, the sound of the ball meeting strings carried a sharper resonance. Each rally felt like a dialogue, with the surface, with the conditions, with the past versions of herself who had imagined moments like this. She moved with intention, adjusting, calibrating, listening. The court, as always, told the truth. Fans gathered early, hoping for a glimpse, a forehand uncoiling, a serve snapping cleanly, a quiet nod after a good point. For young girls clutching borrowed rackets and oversized dreams, Alex's presence was tangible proof that the path forward was real. Easy, but real. And that mattered. The Philippine Women's Open has long been a platform, but platforms require voices. This year, Eala brought hers, not loud, not performative, but steady. In interviews, she spoke about preparation and focus, about gratitude and growth. She spoke about representing the Philippines not as a burden, but as a privilege. Her words carried the calm confidence of someone who knew that identity and excellence were not opposing forces. As the tournament approached, Manila seemed to lean in. Courts were readied, schedules finalized, expectations sharpened. Somewhere in the city, a young player practiced serves against a cracked wall, imagining the same crowd, the same court, the same courage. Somewhere else, an older fan remembered the first time Philippine tennis felt this close to the world stage. And Alex stood in the middle of it, not as a destination, but as a bridge. Her arrival did not signal an ending or a peak. It signaled continuity. It reminded everyone watching that journeys do not always move away from home. Sometimes, they loop back, richer and more resolute. The Philippine Women's Open would unfold point by point, match by match, as all tournaments do. Wins would be earned, losses absorbed, lessons taken. But long after the final ball was struck, something would remain. A sense that the distance between dream and reality had shortened. That the sound of a tennis ball in Manila carried a little more meaning. That seeing Eala walk onto a Philippine court was not just a moment, it was a message. And it said, simply, "This is possible. And this is only the beginning."